Left the keys on the lemonade by the habit of a 3-year run. I don't turn around to see if the shadow's gone or if it's just begun. The pavement's collecting dampness from a sky that I cannot choose, and I'm just measuring the distance by the weight inside my shoes. You always left the lock unlatched. I always kept the matches dry, and leaving the porch light warm, leaving it warm, leaving it warm. Not for you to find the handle, just to prove I know the storm. Leaving it warm, leaving it warm. The amber glow across the concrete doesn't mean a thing anymore. Your wool sweater still hanging where the drywall meets the frame. A quiet piece of architecture that forgot its proper name. I could move it to the dark closet, but the space would only grow. There's a comfort in the static when you've nowhere left to go. The copper wire is burning out, the meter's running out of time. Leaving it warm, leaving it warm, leaving it warm. I am leaving the porch light warm, leaving it warm, leaving it warm. Not for you to find the handle, just to prove I knew the storm. It's just electricity we can't afford to lose. It's just electricity we can't afford to lose. The definitive second isn't loud at all. It's the click of a filament right before the fall. I don't feel the absence, I just see the shape of a habit turned to dust with no escape. The highway is a blur of red and white against the dark. I'm sitting in the driveway with the engine out of park. Your words are coming through the speaker wires so thin and cold, like something found inside a drawer that's far too small to hold. Digital dust on the dashboard, the signal's clean but the meaning's blurred. Your voice against continuous glass, against the glass, against the glass. It hits the window pane and shatters, but it will not pass. Against the glass, against the glass. A smooth frequency that cannot pierce the condensation. You're talking about the weather like it's something we can fix, while the wipers trace the same old lines across the matrix mix. I haven't said a word in 40 miles of open road, just watching how the numeric display begins to fade and load. You sound like a recording from a year ago. The tape is stretching thin and slow. Against the glass, against the glass. Your voice against continuous glass. Against the glass, against the glass. The audio is perfect, but the room is entirely empty. stay clear. A beautiful compression where nothing can adhere. The glass is cold beneath my palm. The vocal track is dry. The easiest conclusion that money couldn't buy. The floor. I'm putting on the heavy wool I found behind the door. It doesn't fit the shoulders quite the way it did back then. Or maybe I'm just smaller than I was at 10:30. Borrowed fabric keeps the cold away, but the shape is completely wrong. Still wearing the wrong silhouette. The wrong silhouette. The wrong silhouette. To skin. The coffee's getting bitter in the ceramic on the shelf. I spend an hour trying not to look at myself. The lines are too clean, the cut is too precise for someone who is living on this kind of borrowed ice. The threads are pulling loose at the seam. The pattern's fading in the steam. The wrong silhouette. The wrong silhouette. The wrong silhouette. Still wearing the wrong silhouette. The wrong silhouette. The wrong silhouette. Walking through the kitchen like a ghost in someone else's coat. It's the geometry of a quiet mistake. The precise amount of space a body shouldn't take. I move my arms and feel the fabric resist. The definitive proof that we no longer exist. in the cylinder, the metal's feeling cold. The dashboard clock is ticking down a story already told. 30 minutes sitting where the street lamps meet the trees. With the static on the radio just dropping to his knees. One turn for the battery, 2 turns for the spark. We stay right here in the dark. The ignition, caught between the leaving and the permanent position. The ignition, the cylinders are cold and the fuel is sitting still. I can hear the city breathing through the rubber on the door. The condensation's dripping down until it hits the floor. If I turn the wrist, the headlights will cut through the midnight gray and illuminate the absolute reality of the way. The steering wheel is cold beneath my palm. The quiet is a very heavy calm. The ignition, the ignition, the ignition, the ignition. The engine is a secret that we're both too tired to tell. It's the frozen second right before the internal combustion. The tiny interval that saves us from the whole destruction. My fingers hover on the iron shade, choosing the delay instead of the escape. The drywall in this room is bad for keeping in the sound. I can hear the neighbor's television spinning round and round. But inside these 4 corners there's a frequency that dropped. The exact acoustic moment when the conversation stopped. The microphones are off, but the air is still shaking. The architecture remembers the sound we were making. The last trace of reverb, trace of reverb, trace of reverb. Dying in the corner where the shadows in a locking curve. Trace of reverb, trace of reverb. The tail of the delay is getting shorter every night. I don't move the microphone, I leave the cables on the floor, like copper snakes that don't know what they're waiting for. Your laugh is still a phantom in the 600 hertz range, a stubborn little density that refuses to exchange. The decay time is down to milliseconds now. We're flattening out and I don't know how. Trace of reverb, the last trace of reverb, trace of reverb. The room is perfectly dry and the signal is completely dead. Doesn't hurt to listen to the absolute flat line. It's just a natural consequence of your design and mine. The reflections hit the plaster and they lose their little spark, until there's only silence left to decorate the dark, 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 dark. on the receipt is turning yellow in the drawer. I don't look at the signatures we left there anymore. My fingers have a memory of how your wrist would curve, but the neural paths are failing every time I try to nerve. The skin forgets the friction first. The vocabulary is the second to burst. Already forgetting your tactile name, your tactile name, your tactile name. The syllables are cold and the texture's not the same. Tactile name, your tactile name. My vocal cords are losing the specific way to you. If I say it out loud, it sounds like someone else's street. A generic designation where two strangers chance to meet. The way behind the teeth is gone, the resonance is light, like a word you repeat until the meaning exits sight. 4 letters that used to shape the room, now they're just dust inside the broom. Your tactile name, your tactile name, your tactile name, your tactile name. The muscle memory is giving up the ghost tonight. Dramatic loss, it's a quiet erasure. Slow reorganization of the physical nature. The tip of the tongue finds a different kind of space where your name used to leave its undeniable trace. The bathroom humidity is clinging to the frame. I'm watching how the silver glass is playing at the game. The condensation covers up the outline of my chin until the image disappears and lets the dark begin. The glass is cold, but the breath is warm. We're waiting for the vapor to take its proper form. Wash the mirror, breathe first. Breathe first, breathe first. Before the surface shatters from the coldness of the thirst. Breathe first, breathe first. The moisture on the silver tells the story of the room. I can see the ghost of where your hand once wiped it clear. A little square of clarity that used to happen here. Now the fog is uniform, it's steady and it's slow. A perfect insulation for the things we shouldn't know. The silver backing is starting to peel away. There's nothing left for the reflection to say. Breathe first, breathe first. Wash the mirror, breathe. Breathe first, breathe first. The condensation covers every single fall we made. It's a beautiful delay when you cannot see your eyes. The absolute protection from the standard issue lies. I just stand before the glass and let the vapor do the work, while the shadows in the corner start to hesitate and lurk. The storm drains are overflowing down on Sunset Drive. The midnight water's keeping all the asphalt look alive. We're sitting with the windows down, just enough to get the chill, and acting like the weather is a thing that's standing still. The forecast said the clouds would break by dawn, but we're acting like the sky is completely gone. Pretend the rain never cleared, never cleared, never cleared. Keep the drops against the glass, exactly as we feared. Never cleared, never cleared. The fiction of the storm is the only thing we have. If the moon breaks through the overcast, it complicates the floor. It shows the exact location of the threshold in the door. But as long as the downpour keeps its rhythm on the roof, we don't have to look at the undeniable proof. The pressure's dropping in the barometer tube. We're stuck inside this little dark cube. Pretend the rain never cleared. Pretend the rain never cleared. Pretend the rain never cleared. The dampness in the air is keeping us from saying goodbye. It's a fragile state of mind built on heavy precipitation, the ultimate delay of the final destination. We just listen to the water hit the metal plate above and mistake the cold velocity for some designer love. The latch didn't make a sound against the strike plate brass. I didn't see your shadow pass across the hallway glass. The air pressure inside the room just shifted by a degree, and that was the definitive end of you and me. No slam, no structural shake, just a tiny movement that we couldn't take. The door closed without weight, without weight, without weight. An unrecorded second at the final garden gate, without weight. The hinges must be oiled for this kind of clean departure. I was looking at my phone when the connection went completely dead. Not a single word of drama or of warning had been said. The draft under the frame is the only evidence I find that someone left the building and left everything behind. The wood meets the rubber seal so soft, the quietest exit ever carried aloft. Without weight, the door closed. Without weight, the door closed. Without weight, the lock engaged without a single atom of friction. Friction, 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 friction. The lock engaged without a single atom of friction. Friction, friction. We spent 3 years building up the structural wall just to watch it give away with no velocity at all. It's the lack of momentum that makes it feel so permanent, a perfect installation of the silent sediment. is a concrete tube that goes down to the street. I can hear the rhythm of your heavy-soled feet. The first reflection hit the wall and bounced back to my ear. But the second one is taking long to disappear. The distance is increasing by 30 meters a second. The sound waves are the only things that we haven't reckoned. Wait for the next echo. The next echo, the next echo. Catch the tiny remnant that the architecture won't let go. The next echo, the next echo. The time alignment is shifting further out of reach. I lean my head against the paint and listen through the plaster. The frequency is dropping lower as you walk down faster. The high end is absorbed by the porous in the block, leaving only the dull thud that matches up the clock. The delay time is opening up wide. There's nowhere left for the sound to hide. The next echo, the next echo. Wait for the next echo. The next echo, the next echo. The sound of your departure is a very long attenuation. Geometry of space when the body has departed. The sonic drilling edge of the fire that we started. I don't call your name because the room would only bounce. The empty validation of the things we can't pronounce. The parking lot is empty save for one generic sit-in. The orange light from overhead is doing what it can to turn the asphalt into something from an old film strip, where every single character is losing their tight grip. Paper lamp hum at 60 cycles straight. We're standing right beneath the heavy metal plate. Halogen glow, halogen glow. Looking twice as long as a person that I used to know. Halogen glow. An elongated distortion on the yellow concrete floor. Your outline stretches past the line where the curve begins to drop. A giant dark geometry that doesn't know where to stop. It connects my shoes to yours across the oil-stained ground. The only bridge remaining that is silent and profound. The gas inside the bulb is burning very hot and bright. It shows the absolute distance in the middle of the night. Halogen glow, halogen glow, halogen glow. Shadow in the halogen glow. Halogen glow. The orange spectrum makes the skin look completely dead. the shadow does the talk. It spans the 20 feet of concrete where we used to walk. A sharp monochromatic line that separates the two. The final illustration of what we managed to do. Halogen glue. Halogen glue. Halogen glue. Halogen glue. The orange spectrum makes the skin look completely dead. Halogen glue. We don't have to speak because the shadow does the talk. It spans the 20 feet of concrete where we used to walk. A sharp monochromatic line that separates the two. The final illustration of what we managed to do. The lights are off because the switch is too far from the bed. I'm tracing out the braille of all the things we never said. My fingers find the indentation in the mattress foam, the temporary architecture of our broken home. The eyes are useless in this level of the dark. The skin is the only thing that leaves a proper mark. Remembering your name by touch, name by touch, name by touch. The friction of the memory doesn't amount to very much. Name by touch, name by touch. The text is written in the texture of the linen sheet. Move my palm across the space where your shoulder used to rest. The weave is slightly rougher where the weight was directly pressed. It's a language made of friction and the lack of residual heat. A quiet little literacy that's entirely complete. No vowels or consonants remain in the dark. Just the surface roughness of the linen mark. Name by touch, name by touch. Remembering your name by touch. Name by touch, name by touch. The physical index is the last thing to fade away. It's the sensory reality of an absolute conclusion. The skin doesn't participate in any mental illusion. It knows the exact density of what is no longer there. A tactile geography of the empty winter air.